The brand new BT13 Examon is here. Well, not really brand new because it kind of came out over a month ago. It's been a while for BT13, hasn't it? But yeah, let's show you guys how it works with only one copy.
Alright, so for today's matchup, we're going to be playing against Craniamon with the Examon deck. We're going to compete and see which one is the better control deck, better strong blocker of the Royal Knights right here. Checking our hand, Mulligan looks good. We have, a lot of searching power. We have a Dracomon that can Digivolve into a Rookie as well. And mainly, you guys may have noticed, we have a Davis, Again, searching for pieces is just really crucial for Examon. Seeing your pieces is #1 priority, which is why all the cards you want to see in your hand is about searching pieces in the early stages. So we go for Davis right here, hopefully getting 2 hits, but unfortunately we only just get 1 hit, which is still totally fine. And they just pass us back to 3 with a Taikamiya, both sides having a Memory Tamer now. We're going to start off with Blue Memory Boost, continuing our search. Review quite a bunch of Davises, and we grab into Quadramon is because it's a very good situation to be in. With both players having a Memory Tamer, Quadramon would be the most memory efficient way to play because it costs 6, where we start at 3, we'll pass them back to 3. So then we'll follow up with the Dracomon, finding ourselves the Examon, a new one, which we can potentially showcase in this gameplay video, which is going to be really cool, and show you guys what it does. So passing back to them, they're just building their stack and they're continuing. And for us, like I mentioned earlier, the next play was just easily just go for Quadramon and draw 2 cards. We kind of almost reviewed the cards there because we thought it was searching for a second there. But anyways, we did end up just drawing the cards and they didn't see it. So that's all good. So right here, they crack the boost, go into Craniamon. They start off fire first with their strong boss Digimon on the board, while we're just nowhere near. We're not even nowhere close to getting into Examon just yet. But now Craniamon is going to be difficult to deal with because it can just start chipping us away, dealing lots of damage. It's really good for them to attack just because they have Reboot with Toyagumon as well, and they're just setting up more blockers for their defensive plays now. Now that we actually have quite a bit of memory to work with, we're actually contemplating right here to potentially DNA Digivolve and get into one of our Examons to go for the big play. So we can climb up our Digivolution stack cycle a little bit here. Going into Groundramon to draw first, and then we're going to use our Pop Orb Memory Boost, go into Quadramon as well, and we're going to use our Dracomon to probably want to chip at them. Knowing that they have Craniamon's effect, we want to bait them to either block or take a security right here. And that is because, again, Craniamon's going to force an attack, and something's going to basically get deleted somehow. But unfortunately, we actually ran into another tie, which is going to give us a huge disadvantage and give them a lot of advantage, but we're going to go into Wingdramon anyways. Go for the end of turn combo DNA with both level 5s because they can be treated as level 6. Going into Examon right here, we get to suspend down something, and I do apologize my head being in the way right here. We're still sort of working camera angles and stuff, and I didn't realize I was just so tall to the point where I'm just covering half of the field, so I apologize for that. We're gonna fix that, but anyways, just letting you know what's happening here is that we suspend down the Craniamon, and we're going to prevent it from suspending for the next turn, and I get to unsuspend myself, but because it's suspended, we do end up having to trash our own security because of the Giromon inheritable on the Craniamon. But right now, we're sitting pretty good. We're basically able to answer their board quick enough with our own boss Digimon and being able to showcase this new Examon, which is kind of nice to get into in the early stages of the game if you're not seeing your other main Examon or the older one. Although the older one would be the more ideal one to get into, but I kind of got greedy. I kind of want to wait until I got both Breakdramon and Slayerdramon combo, then go into it. I was hoping to right here to build this first stack, and eventually I can build a second stack as the game prolongs, and I'll have 2 big really strong Examon stacks that can just heavily control the board and just win from there. But our opponent continues to search, continues to try and find their pieces, and right here they're just going into their Sephirothmon. They're debating because if they go into Sephirothmon, they could potentially force an attack, and if they force an attack, there's going to be a whole lot of disruption effects going to be happening. And this is a pretty fun matchup because there's a lot of conversation between the 2 decks when we're just debating and talking about what can potentially happen if this and this and that were to happen. So because there's a lot of interactivity when it comes to us suspending, us attacking, and when they're blocking as well. Pretty fun matchup, honestly. Pretty good right here. So they do grab the Sephirothmon, but I think we concluded and talked about where I think I was able to sort of go around it either way, and sort of they might end up not having as much value over there, so they just end up playing a tie. here another one which is really good. So as you guys may have noticed, we did drew into a Heaven's Judgment, and with that being said, like the Craniamon is vulnerable to it, so we're just gonna get rid of it. You guys can see how good Heaven's Judgment is for the Examon deck, just because of being able to minus something by 6,000 3 times potentially, just like that. We just immediately just cleared their board or took out their big stack mainly, but they can quickly rebuild. You know, they're finding their pieces okay right here. Playing their third Memory Taikamiya, which is going to buff all their Digimon by a ton of DP during our turn, and they have the 2-cost one that can unsuspend for like when they were about to block and stuff like that. So right now, with an open board, just attack with Examon and just try to chip away as much as we can. Contemplating whether I want to swing with the Dracomons or not, but I kind of wanted to swing with one, and surprisingly it survived. Swing with the other, and we checked into a Izzy and Joe, which is really unfortunate. Now we just hard play another Quadramon just to draw 2, and hopefully next turn we can go for a, like, you know, another DNA play, potentially Digivolving into like our level 5s, finding the rest of the cards that we need as well at the same time. So right here we're going to wide board though, which is a really good position to be in because we have so many attacks, you know, for sure, right? That's how we felt. There couldn't be that many blockers that they have that can stop us at this moment, just because of how many swings we got, right? They only got one blocker. At most, it can unsuspend once. You know, we're pretty much in lethal range, if anything. And we're pretty much good, too, right? You know, if they try to attack with their Gladiamon right here, Examon's going to unsuspend. Or we can choose to suspend one of their Digimon. We can choose to unsuspend our own Digimon, but we're going to unsuspend our Examon more likely, so that we can potentially block, which is kind of troublesome for them. So they're really trying to debate on what the best play right here is, as we're just having the conversation. And it seems like they may have a specific card, which we're about to see, that they can get into to kind of counter this current position. But right here, we're sitting with a lot of pressure, just because of the sheer amount of things that this Examon can do. It was actually pretty cool. Holding down the fort as well. And again, just, you know, back and forth with asking questions, just to clarify, because Examon, when it unsuspends, it can also gain DP, which is going to be really good for it. So we're just waiting for Sam to make a play right here. But again, just discussing. So they do end up going into the Metal Tyrannomon here, suspending down our Quadramon, noticing that, you know, suspending down like our Examon is not going to do too much really. And they just want to stop the amount of attacks really. And they really want to somehow be able to trade against our Examon, I believe. Maybe potentially from blocking, or potentially, you know, going into another Craniamon. That's what we kind of expect here, you know. It only makes sense they might, but it seems like they actually went into Sephirothmon to force an attack right here, which is really interesting and unique, and they wanted to force Examon to attack. And at this moment I'm just like, okay, that means then we can probably just pressure anyways. Not too sure what the Sephirothmon there really is gonna do for them. But we'll see in a bit as well. They go into Giromon and pass us back to 3. We get to unsuspend. They do have, you know, Giromon as a blocker itself, which I'm pretty sure it is. And we're just going to hatch, of course, Digivolve, and just think about how we want to sequence this attack, because it pretty much looks like we got game right here, essentially, right? Until we swing with Examon right here and actually realize they blast Digivolve on us with Wargreymon Ace. This is a really nice tech card to be actually playing in Craniamon, and definitely gave us a surprise. Just from that. And because they did blast Digivolve right here, we're now right now discussing and contemplating whether they should block or not at this moment. Technically, we were saying like he shouldn't, because if he blocked it, I get to unsuspend, and by unsuspending, I could potentially, you know, yeah, go for more attacks and whatnot. So not blocking with the Wargreymon, they want to block with the Giromon. But the thing is, the Wargreymon does matches the DP against Examon, because Examon can buff its DP up, and then we would just end up crashing. And then both my rookies can just swing for game right there. So we're gonna try and swing again with Examon at this moment, trying to think how we can play around and see. And they do either have to let it through, because if they block here and we end up trading, because Examon is 15k and Wargreymon is also 15k, then I can just easily swing with the rest of the rookies. So they do actually let it through. And now in this position, they're actually even better, because then they can actually survive for a little longer, because they still have the tie, so they can still make 2 more blocks. And that's only if I had a hybrid for game. So I don't really, you know, Examon generally doesn't really play hybrid for game. So that makes total sense anyway. So right now we're just trying to set up and try to build a build our stack right there. Maybe potentially next turn we can then DNA again, and set up our board, or maybe just go even more wide than we anticipate to, and set up a little bit of defense at the same time, just in case they have anything that can suddenly become explosive and go on us. So I'm really contemplating on hard playing the green Craniamon because it has blocker, or should I be playing more Dracomon to search, or should I be just Digivolving? And I felt like going wide would be the better choice, just because again, they can't block everything. And with the 2 Dracomon's inheritable that we have, we can just gain the memory back. So, you know, we'll gain 2 memory, but we'll just pass them back and we'll start at 3 anyways. And with a really good situation right here with the whiteboard that we have, surely we're in a very good position, right? Again, and this is just really cool because the Craniamon deck doesn't stop surprising me here at all, and we're just trying to go as wide as we can, like I said, and try to make multiple attacks. And with only 3 memory, they end up playing Walt's End right here. Now, we're again discussing if that was like the best play, just because of potentially it is pretty good. You can wipe the entire board, other than Examon right here, and we're playing that. And then if you would block an attack. The other alternative is to either play Mechanorimon, and Mechanorimon is just equally as good because it's a 9k blocker on my turn, like, and it can just keep unsuspending, and none of my guys can go over it too. But I was also saying, like, Examon can just suspend down the Mechanori, and then as soon as they block with one, then I could just swing with the rest of them and just win game anyways. So again, we're just debating which is the better play, just trying to go for the most optimized and sort of hype gameplay right here. And I think we do decide that Walt's End is the best one, just because it will pop actually everything here. So we do draw for turn. It doesn't make sense for us to promote the Dracomon because we're just gonna get deleted as soon as we swing. So we're gonna swing the smallest one right here. And right now, another combos of effects we're trying to decide. So Walt's End is gonna delete our board, but we're going to use the blue Craniamon to evade to prevent its deletion right there. We do have to end up trashing our security as well because of the Metal Tyrannomon, because they do block with War Greymon. They have to block the War Greymon. And right now, we're just trying to see how we can swing for game. Now, at that moment, when their War Greymon suspended first, we didn't actually use our Examon's secondary ability to either suspend their Digimon or unsuspend us. That is because it's a Yume effect, so we decide to go for it in the end. We trade right there, and I use the effect to unsuspend the Craniamon to swing for game.
And that's exactly how it's done. You show them that Examon is the superior big blocker in the Royal Knights team. But if you guys haven't seen the deck profile yet, be sure to watch it right here. If you have already, there's a tons of other like Digimon videos content here on the channel, whether you're new or getting into the game, wanting to learn all the different cool anime favorite decks and your favorite characters and Digimon. There's everything for you inside this channel. So definitely check out those videos there. But until next time, as always, have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is Vault signing out.